Dingity ding ding ding.
The world's largest casino, aka the old stock market, just closed today on a beautiful Tuesday, October the 28th, and guess what? I know I'm starting to sound like a broken record, but once again, we hit another new all-time high. Now that in itself is very exciting. If you're checking out your stock portfolio, there's a good chance you're also seeing record highs. But in this video, I want to be breaking down why I'm very excited for the short term, because I think, as I'm going to show you, and I'm not just making it up gut feel, I'm going to prove to you in this video the stats, facts, and figures of why I think this rocket ship has more to go. In fact, I pray you are watching this video before tomorrow, Wednesday the 28th, because we have a lot going down on the economic monetary policy side of things that's going to cause a ton of volatility in the market. And also, there's a little bit of a sprinkling on top of this Sunday. Nvidia, the world's largest company, just became even bigger, outpacing everyone else because of some massive announcements today. So basically, if you're paying attention to the overall market, the AI trade, or Nvidia itself, you're very much going to watch this video. But of course, before we get into those nitty-gritty details, if you like these type of market updates, don't forget to like, subscribe, share it with your grandma. With that being said, let's ride. So by the time the closing bell kicked us all out of the casino, here was the official headline. Stocks closed at record highs for second day as AI trade heats up ahead of the Fed rate decision. So basically all day, the intern running this CNBC headline here was saying the market's up because of the rate decision. But as I'm going to prove to you throughout this video, that actually had nothing to do with it. But anyway, very quickly, S&P 500, new all-time high, 6,911. Yes, there are still two downside gap fills. I'll be covering that in a second. The Nasdaq, new all-time high, and actually this one has three downside gap fills. And for whatever reason, the small cap sector did not get the memo, even though it's very close to an all-time high. Like the SPY and the Nasdaq counterparts, it did not make a new fresh record today. So as that CNBC headline was alluding to, is all talking about this Fed rate decision, and we are getting the result of that tomorrow at 2 p.m. Fed interest rate decision, and then at 2:30 Eastern, Fed Chair Powell will be doing his live press conference where he has all those prepared remarks and he's going to answer all those questions. And going into this, you might be thinking, what's the decision going to be, not going to be, what's going to sway the market? Well, first of all, at the moment that I'm filming this video, we know we are getting a 25 bips rate cut. If you look at the Fed Watch tool right here, 98% chance, we're at 4% of dropping down to 3.75. Looking at Polymarket, you can see that they are 98.4% confident that we are getting a 25 bips rate cut. Looking at Call Sheet, 98% confident that we are getting a 25 bips rate cut. Quick side note here, on Call Sheet, you could also bet on the other things he's going to say, such as the word probability, beige book, and projection. So if these odds aren't that exciting for you, I guess you have a little bit more to make there. But anyway, side note. So my point is at this moment, when I'm making this video, a day before this all happens, and we already know it's going to be a 25 bips rate cut, you might be thinking, okay, isn't this already priced in because we know what's happening? Yes, mostly, because of course it's a little bit of an advantage to remove some uncertainty, of course. But beyond that, it's more of what he's going to say about quantitative easing and tightening. The Fed's 6.6 trillion test, when to end its portfolio runoff. We know that the Fed has been in the mode of quantitative tightening, selling the assets that they acquired during the Rona period. And the question is, how much are they going to do it? How aggressive are they going to be? Not going to be. So the market is going to be trying to understand any of the, aggressiveness or lack of aggressiveness from the Fed with their own portfolio. So that's a major thing to listen to. And in terms of the rate cut versus not rate cut, maybe there's going to be a surprise. I mean, remember, the government shut down, which means all the information that they use to base these off of jobs and inflation, well, they're pretty much flying dark. The Fed is flying blind at its next meeting. Hey, you and me both, that's pretty much how I attack every single trading day. I just let it rip from the gut. So you get it. Hopefully you're watching this video in time, and you know tomorrow at 2 p.m. and then again at 2:30, we're going to have a big shock to the overall stock market. And we already know that that's going to happen, which brings up what in the world went down today. Well, looking at the intraday action, you could see we started off kind of weak, and then things really started to turn at 11:45, and then things got crazy at 12:30. And as I said at the start of this video, that had nothing to do with the Fed announcement. Also wasn't just pure price action. Options market went wild. Weak, big explosion into the end of the day. Looking here at the Mag 7, weak, big explosion until about, 2:30. Overall, the options market fully agreed with it. Oh, I should let you know here, by the way, this is called Spot Gamma. I'm getting a lot of questions about this lately. I'm going to let you know this. I've used every single options analytics tool out there. I've paid for every single membership, and in fact, I still have most of them. And after going through every single one, Spot Gamma is by far the best. If you happen to tune into the live show, you see all the analytics and the breakdown information that we do every single day, and it's all because of Spot Gamma. Spot Gamma is the premier options analytics tool, and I would bet that against any other one. And the best part is you can see if I'm right, and you could do it for free. They have a new announcement of, I believe it is, oh yeah, right here, 5 different products / tools / services, and you could get them all for free until the remainder of this week. So I'll make sure that this link is in the description of the video below, just your first name, email, and there's giveaways and they're giving out free access. And in fact, Brent, one of the co-founders of the show, is going to be coming on tomorrow to explain all these new products and tools. But once again, it is FREE. So as in you can get access and take advantage of the best options analytics tool for free. And you could see certain things such as this, that around 11:45 and then really around 12:30, things started to absolutely rip. I mean, look at what happened at 12:30, big spike in the options market, and it was all because of this. President Trump and President Xi to discuss lowering China tariffs for fentanyl crackdown. That announcement, the market said, hey, this US-China trade thing is gonna be phenomenal. And once again, look at 12:30. The US would cut in half the 20% levies on Chinese goods imposed in retaliation for the export of chemicals that make deadly synthetic opioids. US and China set to reduce port fees on each other's ships. So as we saw it in the options market, as we saw it in price action, it's obviously related to this narrative and not so much the market betting on the Fed tomorrow. But, and I should have let you know this, that wasn't the full story. In fact, there's a few companies out there, a few tickers out there that whether they go up or down, they have a huge influence on the market. That is not true for most companies in existence at this moment in time, but there's a few examples, and one of those companies by the ticker symbol NVDA, that company, Nvidia, leading this AI revolution, well, they had some massive announcements today, added billions of dollars to their market cap, and are now a smidge away from a $5 trillion evaluation. If you are watching this and you have Nvidia, congrats. In my opinion, hold on to it. If you don't have Nvidia, well, maybe at a reasonable dip point, buy some and do the same thing. Hold on to it, because this is one of the most impressive stocks that has ever been known to man. Truly, what I'm about to share with you changes everything, and here's where we got going. Breaking: Nvidia announces partnership with Palantir. This Nvidia event is crushing every possible expectation by a mile. They announced 8 very impressive things. Announced a partnership with the US Department of Energy, announced 7 new supercomputers for the US government, announced a $1 billion investment in Nokia, set to announce AI partnership with Samsung and Hyundai, and announced a $500 billion in expected business over the next 6 quarters. That number is disgusting. And then a little bit after all that happened, Eli Lilly and Nvidia partnered to build supercomputer and AI factory for drug discovery and development. Bing, bang, boom, the biggest stock in the world got that much bigger because that's a whole lot of positive information, gaining almost 5% today, cracking $200. And not only did we see that in price, I mean, here's a 30-minute chart. It's just been ripping. We saw it in the options market, people buying as many calls as they can, selling as many puts as they can, and it sent this stock to an evaluation of $4.86 trillion, which means it's only a couple percentage points away from being a $5 trillion company. As I said, for this company, for the AI sphere, it kind of changes everything, makes it that much stronger, and it's fueling the rip we're seeing in the overall market. And the golden question now is, where is this run going to end? And for that one, I would love to turn it over to you and get your thoughts and opinions. If you ask me, I think seasonality, this narrative of US and China, and also the earnings we're all getting are suggesting that the higher probability pathway is to the upside. But once again, I don't have a crystal ball, and I would love to hear from you in a comment below. That's what I have for you today. I'll catch you in the stream tomorrow morning and then again for the FOMC tomorrow. And until then, I hope you have a good one. Thanks for the good vibes. Catch you in the next one.